G'day all, welcome back to Dad vs Son and our playthrough of Combat Commander from Chad Jensen and GMT, and we're going through the Paratroopers Battle Pack number 1, and we're about to go on with scenario 33, and I should have probably played this one first, and this is called We Go, designed by Dan Holt. The situation report is Saint-Mère-Église, France, 6 June 44. In the early hours of June 6, the paratroopers of the 101st and 82nd Airborne Divisions leapt into the night over Normandy to clear the path for the invading Allied forces, who were at that time steaming across the English Channel. Through the chaos of enemy fire, the pilots did the best they could to put the troopers over their planned drop zones, but many of them were dropped far from their planned sites, with little idea of where they were. The 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment landed on the outskirts of Saint-Mère-Église. They quickly organised as best they could and began clearing the way to Utah Beach. So again, it's 1944, and like I said, I should have played this one first, but I missed it somehow. The victory point marker starts on 14 for the Axis. I don't know why they were turned over. Troops. The Allies start with elite troops in 2 orders, and at time 3 they go to 3 orders, and that's why I've just got this little marker up here at the moment. The Germans are line and have 2 orders throughout. Time starts on 0 with sudden death at 7. Allies are attacking. Axis is recon, and the Allies have the initiative card. Objectives K, N and P are open. K is 3, Objective 3 is worth 3 VP, N, Objective 4 worth 4 VP, and P, Objective 5 worth 4 VP. Neither side has a secret or an open objective. The Axis set up first, 10 hexes deep, and then the Allies set up last, and they basically come in all over the place. The Axis control all of the 5 objectives, and the Allies none. The German forces, they start with Lieutenant Lauerbach, Sergeant Biermann, 3 rifle squads, 1 weapons team, 1 heavy MG and 1 light MG, and at time 2 they get Corporal Rettenhaus, a rifle squad and a light MG, which are here. As long as the time marker remains in the 0 space of the time track, the Axis player must treat all move orders as command confusion. We don't add Objective W because anybody that leaves the map is basically taken as eliminated. And bocage, all the hedges are +1, so they are +2 cover, but also 2 to move across. The Americans start with Lieutenant Ray, Sergeant Devine, Sergeant White, 8 paratroop squads and 1 line mortar. Surrender values are 6 for the Germans, 8 for the Americans, and this is how I've set up the Germans. Like this. Whee. Let's straighten this up a bit. So they're holding objectives 3, 4 and 5. So I've got objective 3 as basically a bit of a blockhouse with the team, weapons team and a heavy machine gun, and this is the headquarters barracks area with the lieutenant and 2 rifle squads. Over here in the trees at the T intersection, I'm taking this as the entry point to the barracks area, so we have Sergeant Biermann with a rifle squad and the light machine gun. I didn't want to spread the Germans over all 5 objectives because these are the only ones at the moment that are worth anything. Righto, so the Americans come in randomly by card draw. If they land in sight and range of a German, then they are broken. If they land on a German, then they're placed at the nearest hex to them, broken as well. And that's it. And then once we're all set out, then the light mortar is placed on any of the American units. So let's start. We'll start with the paratroops. So the first paratroop is going to B4, which is up here. Not in line of sight of anybody, so therefore he's not broken. The next at F2. Oops. Again, no line of sight to anything, so not broken. K8. Again, we have line of sight this time, so this troop is broken. Next is at I-10. And we have no line of sight, so not broken. L10. No line of sight, not broken. O4. No line of sight, so not broken. J2. On the road, line of sight, broken. And last paratroop is at F10. Again, no line of sight, unbroken. Sergeant White is at D10. No line of sight, unbroken. Lieutenant Blankenship at D4. We have no line of sight, so not broken. I don't think there's a line of sight there. Let's make sure. No, there's not. And then Lieutenant Ray at G2. Again, no line of sight, not broken. So you can see we've got one over here, a swag up here and a swag down here. Okay, now where do we want to put the mortar? Do 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 do. And I think what we might do is just put it here, like that. Right, so the Germans are recce, so get 5 cards. The Americans are attacking, get 6. And the Allies are first. So let's get into it. So the Americans have a fire, advance, recover, rout, fire, advance. Righto. So, advance, rout and recover. Okay, so we only have 2 guys that need to recover. Everybody else is out of sight, out of mind. So what I might actually do is advance them out of the way. So I'm going to advance my first guy, and he's going to advance into here. Like that, and he takes objective 2, which at this stage is not worth anything. And we'll advance our other guy into at least some cover. In fact, let's move him over here towards Lieutenant Ray. And that's all the Americans can do for this turn. And they get their 2 cards. I don't have to look at the unturned cards for anybody because there's actually no defender, so there's no surprises that way. Okay, and the Germans start with a move, rout, command confusion, rout, artillery request. So remember, a move is a command confusion to start with, 2 routs and an artillery request. So they could try and rout us. The Allies' edge is up here, so they might be able to rout this bloke over, and they may be able to bring this bloke back into sight. But in realistic terms, these 3 cards are totally useless to them, except for maybe the dig in. So I'm almost of the opinion of getting rid of all 5 and just getting them 5 new cards. And that's what I'm going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the Americans finished with a recover, a rout and 2 fires, and picked up a rout and a fire again. Now again, they've got nobody to rout, so we'll get rid of the 2 rout cards. We have nobody to fire at. I still want to do a recover, but I want to be able to do the recover with worthwhile cards in my hand. So again, 2 cards for the Americans, back to the Germans with 5 new cards. So they have a move, which is a command confusion, an artillery request, a command confusion, a rout, and a rout again. This is basically the same hand we just got rid of. But it's not the same hand because this is the one we got rid of and this is the one we've got. So, yeah. So is it trying to tell us something? Do we try and rout the Americans? If we do that, then we're left with crap cards. So again, I don't see the sense in it. I'm going to get rid of those 5 cards and get 5 newbies. Because they don't even have a fire card if somebody comes into sight at the moment. Okay, the Americans have 3 fires, a recover, and pick up a move and an artillery request. Righto, so let's do a move. First up, we're going to move, and we're going to activate Lieutenant Ray and this bloke here. This bloke has a movement of 5, and we'll go 2, and there's no line of sight. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5. No. 2 for there and 1 into there is 3. Let's just stop there, and we're going to move Ray 1, 2, 3, 4 into here with this guy. Then we're going to do our recover as our second order. We'll do this guy first, so he is there for 9 plus 2 is 11, and they have 2 cover for 13. Gets an 8 and he's back. And then we have this guy down here, 9 and 3 is 12, minus 1 for the road. Now, I just wanted to check that again. Terrain types are shown above the dotted line and define the hex itself. Yep. Terrain features are below and generally serve to modify the terrain itself. Okay. So, yeah, that's what I've been. I was doing it right, then I started doing it wrong, and now I'm doing it right again. So we have 9 and 3 is 12, minus 1 is 11. And we get a 9, and he's back as well. And that's all the Americans can do. They've consolidated one lot of troops with a commander, We've got to consolidate with this commander, and we need to consolidate with this commander. Okay, 2 cards for the Americans, and we're back to Herman the German. Righto, and he has a recover, a rout, a move, a command confusion, and a rout. Okay, so he's got nobody to rout. Command confusion, same as move, nobody to rout. We keep the recover, we get rid of the other 4. So he's had 3 near identical hands. Americans, 3 fires, artillery request, fire, and move. Right, so where do we want to move now? Okay, so we could start bringing white over to move up with these troops. And start to consolidate them. At least we have a command radius here. So we will move with Sergeant White. And he will go 1 to there. And we, of course, have nothing, dickhead. 1 to there. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now at least it brings this bloke in and he can trail along behind as he goes. And then we have nothing else to do. So that's it for the Americans. And I am going to... That's it. Okay. Germans had a recover and have picked up artillery denied, artillery request, and another recover. Jesus Christ. Okay, at the moment I'm going to keep this artillery request for a dig-in for here, if need be. That gives them 2 recovers and the artillery request. They get 2 new cards, and the Americans have 4 fires, artillery and rout. So they're going to get rid of rout and artillery request and get 2 newbies. Germans have picked up artillery request and a move. So again, these 2 cards are no good to them at all. So they'll get 2 new cards. This is a really interesting start, isn't it? I know. Oh, I know. Americans, 4 fires, 5 fires, and a recover. And every fire is an ambush except for 1. So 4 ambushes on the fires. But not much good if I can't bloody move anywhere. So I'm actually going to get rid of 2 fires. 1 with an ambush and 1 with demolitions. And get 2 new cards for them. Germans have 2 recovers, artillery, recover and artillery. Oh, this is just ridiculous. They're going to get rid of both artilleries and the 1 recover, leaving them with 2 recovers. Still looking with something to shoot with. Americans have picked up 2 artillery requests, which are totally useless to them, and go back in the bucket. Germans have picked up a command confusion, a fire and a move. So they'll keep the fire and get rid of these 2. So at least they have something to fire with now. And they'll get 2 new cards. And the Americans, 3 fires, recover, rout and fire. So again, we're going to get rid of those 2 cards. I need to be able to move. Germans, 2 recovers and a fire. And pick up a fire and a recover. So again, the fire is going. The fire is staying, and we'll get rid of this recover for 1. And the Americans, 3 fires, recover, advance and recover. So I suppose we'll advance. Okay, so let's do an advance, and we will advance for Sergeant White and this paratroop here. So Sergeant White will advance to here, and the paratroop will advance to here. And now that brings this paratroop with the light mortar into his command radius. And that's all we can do for the Americans. Germans have 2 recovers and 2 fires, and pick up a move, which is again a command confusion. So it goes away, they get 1 new card. And the Americans have 3 fires and 2 recovers, and pick up another fire and give them 4 ambushes again. I'm actually going to, I know this sounds stupid, but I'm going to get rid of 2 fires with ambushes, keep 2 fires with ambushes, and keep the 2 recovers. Because if I move, I'm going to need the recovers. 2 new cards for the Americans. Okay, and the Germans have the same, 2 fires, 2 recovers, and pick up a rubbish card, so 1 new card for them. Americans get a recover and a move. So, they'll move. Who shall move? Who? Okay, so the mortar can't even jump hedges at the moment. Right. I think what we will do is we're going to move Sergeant White. Or are we? Let's actually bring this other paratroop over. He's going to go 1, 2, 3. Fields are only 1, aren't they? Yep. 3, 4 to there. 5 into there. And now we have a German line of sight. But so do we. Yay! Okay. Do the Germans want to fire? And the answer is yeah. So they're going to fire. The only bloke who has a line of sight, I think, is this guy, because we have, yeah, that crosses over there. So it's just this rifle here who can shoot for 5 and nothing else, nothing to help. So we have 5 firepower. Yay! Plus 9, 14. That's not too bad for one little fella by himself. Okay, Mr. Paratrooper is here for 8, 9, 10 in there. Oh, and he gets a 12. Look at that. So he is safe as houses. So we need to reshuffle the American deck. We go to time 2. So the German reinforcements will come on, and the Germans aren't a defender, so they don't get any victory points because they're recon. Okay, so shuffling the Americans. Okay, so we've done our shuffle. It's not sudden death, no defender, no smoke. So let's do the Germans, where they can come on any board edge, if I remember correctly. Yes, any map edge they like. Okay, so they've got a choice. The Germans have still got 1 order left. So if I bring these guys on here, they could take a shot at this guy and try and knock him out, or at least break him. And they're excuse me, not in range of anything else. By the same token, I could bring him on over here and have a go at this guy and try and break him, keeping control of this. Or I could even bring him on here and try and take out Sergeant White or something like that. What is my best? And I think isolating him would be nice, but if we can isolate these troops, but in all honesty, the Americans are likely to have a recover or two. Sorry, got the yawns. Yeah, we're going to come down here. That gives us into here. Corporal Rittenhouse. In fact, no. We'll come into these trees here. Like that. It doesn't give them any more cover, but it gives them 2 cover this way, whereas we'd only have 1 cover here against this guy. So we come in here and we'll actually shoot the paratroop with the mortar. That's their only sort of long-range weapon. Everything else is crap. So they've come on, there's no dig-ins for anybody, and it becomes the Germans' turn again, and they fire. And they fire with Corporal Rittenhouse and his stuff. So we're going to fire for 6, 7, 8 into there. We'll use one of our recovers for hand grenades. Gives us 10. Plus 3. Okay, so they were a bit rushed. And this guy's in here for 8. Plus 2 is 10. And 9. And he's safe. And that's it for the Germans. And they get 3 new cards. And we're over to the Americans with 3 recovers and 2 fires. I didn't get their card last time, did I? And I just grabbed the wrong cards for the Germans. Well, I screwed up for the Americans, so that's a stiff shit factor for them. They've only got 5 cards. Okay, so they've got 2 fires and 3 recovers. Mortar can't fire, it's too close. The paratroops can. They can't. Well, they can, but we can't form any fire group there whatsoever. So, and Sergeant White can't really influence it at all, so we'll just activate this guy to fire. Since I can't move. So we fire with him. He fires for 6. Plus 2 is 8 for hand grenades. Plus 6 is 14. Not much better than the Germans. And these guys in here for 7, 8, 9, 10. And 8, he's fine. And the corporal's in there for 7, 8, 9. And 11, and he's fine as well. Okay. So the Americans can do one more thing, and the only thing they could do is fire and Again, we could fire with this guy into there. Oh, why not? We will. Second order is to fire. Firing for 6. A +5 is 11. Well, it is night time, let's be honest. So again, this guy's in here for 7, 8, 9, 10. And 9 is safe. And 7, 8, 9. And 4 is safe. And that's it for the Americans. And they get 4 new cards. And the Germans have a command confusion and a recover. And remembering they can move now if they want. And they get a fire, a recover, and a fire. Okay. So I think we'll fire. Why not? So we're going to fire again for 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7, 8 into here. And we're going to use hand grenades again. So that's for 10. +9 is better, 19. And our little paratroops in here for 8 and 2 is 10. Do we have anything to help? And we do not. Oh, sorry, I'm boring myself. Okay, so he's in there for 10. And 10 is 20 and is safe. Wow. And that's all they can do. They can't fire at anybody else. So 2 new cards for them. And we're up to the Americans, who finished with 2 recovers and have picked up an artillery request, a command confusion, and 2 fires. Okay. Nothing to move. Again. Sugar. Okay, so all we can do is fire. Again, this bloke here firing for 6. That's it, 6. Nothing to add to it. +11, 17. That's a bit bloody better. This guy is here for 7, 8, 9, 10. Do we have anything? We've got a light wounds if necessary. Nothing else. Okay, so there for 10 and 8, 18. He's good. And 7, 8, 9 and 8. 9 and 8 is 17, so he is suppressed. Right, so the only other thing that the Americans can do is fire again. So they'll fire with this guy for 6, with nothing to help, and 7 is 13, and an American event, which is walking wounded. Select an eliminated unit, return it broken. There are no eliminated units. So again, this guy 9, 10, and 5, 15. He's good. And our corporal is now here for 6, 7, 8. 8 and 6 is 14, which would suppress him. So, but no, sorry, he's fine because we only had 13. And we have a German sniper helping at D9. Does nothing. So that's it for the Americans. They get 2. The Germans have 3 recovers, fire, so they're going to recover. And remove that. That leaves them 2 recovers of fire and a command confusion. So I suppose they'll fire again. They have nothing to... Oh yeah, they have a hand grenades. Okay, so we're going to use hand grenades again. So again, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 10 is 20. They've had enough. They want to get rid of this guy. So he's there for 8, 9, 10. Do we have anything to help? And we have nothing. Okay. 10 and 3 is way not enough. And that's it for the Germans. And they get 3 cards. We'll call it quits. There, I've probably gone over a little bit, so we may as well keep going for a touch. Okay, so the Americans have got 2 command confusions, an artillery request, a rout, and 2 recovers. I need to, do I recover this guy or do I get a new hand? Is what it comes down to. Do I really need the light and water? This is all sort of closed in, and mortar's not going to do a great deal. Other than firing into trees, so I probably should have put the mortar over here for this guy sort of thing. Got him up into here to fire the mortar down into the trees, but that's about it. No, look, I'm going to get rid of these 4 cards. 2 command confusions, artillery and rout. 4 new cards for the Americans. We're over to the Germans, who have a command confusion, a recover, a move, a fire, and a fire. So again, I think firing is their best thing they can do. So they will fire. Again, firing into here for 6, 7, 8. Nothing to add this time. 8 and 10, 18. It's a good shot. We have a German sniper hopefully helping out. F5 does nothing. So this bloke is under 18. He's sitting there all by his lonesome. And we have nothing to help. Okay. So, 9 plus 7's not enough. But we have an American event, which is Battle Harden. 1 American unit becomes veteran. Okay. So, it's no good making him a veteran. It's not going to help 1 iota. So, I'm going to make this guy a veteran. That's going to give me the most firepower and the best melee to go, and we've lost our mortar. And we've lost our first troops, and that's 2 VP, taking it to 16 for the Germans. And what else can they do? They can't fire at anything else. They can't don't need to recover. They can't move. So that's it. They get 1 card, and we'll call it quits there. And when we come back, it'll be the Americans' turn. So yeah, a really shit lot of cards for both sides to start with nobody being able to shoot, nobody being able to move or do anything. The Americans are still trying to consolidate their forces. The only forces we have that are in command range at the moment is Sergeant White and this 1 paratroop, and Lieutenant Ray and these 2 paratroops. This guy's out by his lonesome. These 2 are out by their lonesome. I suppose we could have fired into here again, but I wanted to keep 1 fire for in case the Americans move. And this guy again is out by his lonesome outside of the command radius of Blankenship. So that's where we stand. 16 VPs for the Germans, time 2 of 7. And I will catch you next video. Take care, be good, have fun.